Welcome, my conscious family. I'm hearing today become obsessed with creating your own reality because you are master manifestor. Now is the time to educate yourself so much that you know exactly how to shift your energy. You know nothing about subconscious, about programming, about reality, about consciousness, about manifestation, about your energy. If you don't know how to shift your energy, if you don't know how to actually manifest, if you don't know how to shift your subconscious programming. And this is not telling you that you don't know anything, but be open minded, watch these videos until the end, and really absorb this information. We often think that we know something, but until you embody fully and you know how to actually do that, that's when you finally learn, and then that's when you finally know. I will tell you in this video exactly how to manifest anything, because right now you're going through a huge transformation, and this is something I have been sharing in my videos. You are going through a major transformation, and things may seem like they are not working out. But if you truly know how the creation of the reality works, then you understand that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. I don't care if you're homeless, you have no money, you have no job, your wife left you, your husband left you, whatever happened. You are just seeing something that has manifested into the physical from your past energy, past knowledge, past wisdom. But if you watch these videos and you truly understand that you are the main character, that you are so powerful, you are the consciousness, you are the quantum field, you are the reality, there is nothing outside of you. There is nothing outside of you, nothing exists outside of you. This is all an illusion. And thinking that your circumstances are determining how your future will be. Those beliefs are for the sleepers, for the NPCs, non playing characters, who are living in the illusion that somehow life is happening to them and not for them. But when you know that you are the main character and you know how powerful you are, and you know that you can, by shifting your energy, you can change anything, that's when everything will be revealed to you. And one of the major things where people get stuck, where I feel today, I was getting ready for my working day today, and I was getting this message very strongly to share with you today, is that don't get stuck on the how. How is irrelevant in this current reality. Welcome, welcome, my conscious family. Welcome, my conscious family. Today I'm hearing how is irrelevant in this current reality that you are living in. And by the end of this video, only by watching this video, solely by watching this video, you will shift into the new reality. I can promise you that. So make sure to get comfortable and to really watch this video and really listen to these words, because this is such a powerful message for you today. You are going through a huge transformation right now, and you are manifesting so much. You're manifesting all the time, but right now your energy is so potent. There is a momentum happening of you shifting, you changing, and that's why it's so important to stay on this trajectory, because your trajectory, because you are going to have your dream life. And by the end of this video, you will make a decision and you will understand exactly how to manifest whatever you want. Okay. For everyone who is new, my name is Irena, and I'm so happy to have you here. Every day I post new videos, so come along for this beautiful journey of transformation of consciousness. Subscribe to my channel. More than 70% are not subscribed, so do that right now. Hit the notification button, the bell, so that you can be notified every single day when I post a new video. By watching these videos, every single video is really gonna shift your energy. Every single video is gonna change you. Okay, every single video. And also it's good exchange of energy. Okay, guys, bear with me today. I am so passionate. I am so inspired. I'm wearing my mother's wedding dress. It was from 30 years ago. This is her wedding dress. And I feel so, so inspired to share this message. So stay here and bear with me. Okay. So what I mean by that is that when you are in the reality of a person who can't achieve something, you believe that you can't do that. You cannot see the how to get where you want to get. You literally cannot get an idea on how to do something until you make a decision that you are that person who already has that. I'm going to give you my example, how I manifest money, because that's easy to measure. And I'm going to share with you my story because I know that's very important, okay, to share my own story, the details on how exactly to get there. Okay, so let's imagine I was in a situation, okay, and I am making, let's say, I'm going to give just an example, but I'm not going to say exactly how much money I was making, how much money I wanted to make, but let's give an example. Let's say that I was making 1,000 euros. And in this reality, when I'm making 1,000 euros, I want to make 5,000 euros. I don't know how to do it. I don't see how. I feel worry, I feel fear, and I feel like a person who doesn't deserve that. I feel like a person, for me, that seems like far away. Okay, I'm not talking about the present moment, you guys. I'm not talking about exactly the numbers. I'm just saying a few years ago when I wanted to step from one reality when I was making XYZ, I stepped into the new reality when I was making XYZ again, the amount of money that I wanted a few years ago. And I'm going to give you actually the real example. Why am I hiding for you guys? I don't hide anything from you. So basically, a few years ago, I wanted to be making 3,000 euros a month. And I live in Serbia, in Belgrade. That's actually, even today, it's like good salary. Okay, so it's not like minimum salary. It's very, how can I say? I think the average now is maybe 700 euros a month. Like literally, that's my country. Anyways, so I wanted to make 3,000 euros a month. And I remember nothing in my reality was pointing out that I was going to make that money. I didn't have any savings. I didn't have anything on my name. And I was like really worrying about it. Like, how can I achieve this goal of mine? And then by educating myself on how the creation of reality works, which I say is very, very important for you to understand. This is how creation of reality works. I understood that it doesn't matter nothing from my past. It doesn't matter how much money I made in the past. It doesn't matter how much money I have now. I understood 100% with every cell of my body that doesn't matter. So the first thing to understand and to truly, with every cell of your body, understand is that it doesn't fucking matter. And it doesn't matter because if it mattered, then we wouldn't have any progress. Anybody who did anything in life would never did anything, because if we were only repeating our past, then we wouldn't have evolved as humans. So it doesn't matter. Your past doesn't define you, your present doesn't define you. It doesn't matter. You can choose who do you want to be. You can choose your avatar, and by choosing your avatar and making a decision on who you are, everything aligns in your favor. Okay, back to the example. At that moment, I had a breakup. Also, very important thing to share. I was going through the breakup. I was crying, sobbing, very depressed. I was feeling anxious, very sad. Not depressed, sorry, I'm not going to use those words very easily. I was not feeling depressed, but I was feeling sadness, a lot of sadness and anxiety and just worry. And I wanted to manifest this money. And I remember reading, studying all this. Like I'm really in these materials for years. But nothing matters until you truly understand. You know that moment when you have, for example, you watch my video and you're, aha, you have a breakthrough. The moment you have a breakthrough while watching a video, reading a book, or simply sitting with God, that is the moment you are already shifted. That is the moment your manifestation is already there. I want you to really, truly understand this. It's already there. It just takes time because we live also in the physical 3D reality. It takes time for it to materialize. But the moment you have a breakthrough, and you can have it now, like I am programming this video for you to have your breakthrough right now, in this moment. Once you decide, this is who I am, it is already manifested. It's just going to take some time for it to materialize, but you are already a changed man or a woman. You are not the same you were a second ago. You guys, I'm so passionate about this. Okay, I'm so passionate about this. I really hope you can feel my energy. I want to explain in details. So, I am in this reality. I worry. I don't see how to manifest money. The how to make 3,000 euros a month. I don't know that. Okay, in this reality, I'm worrying. I don't have enough money. Living with my mom. I want to move out. I feel unworthy. I'm connecting my worthiness with the money. Blah blah blah. I have all these stories in my mind about who I am. And then one day I have decided I'm not going to be this person anymore. I make a decision. I don't care how. I'm going to make 3,000 euros a month. That's going to be my norm by the end of this year. It was a few years ago. So by the end of, I don't know, 2003, I'm going to be having 3,000 euros a month. Okay. That day, when I decided, when I said, okay, I understand how the reality works. I understand that it doesn't matter my past, and I understand that I can choose. I'm not choosing the money that is so far away. So we have three types of goals, A, B, C. Google it. I'm not going to go into the details. C-type goal is something you should always have. It's like the biggest vision, the unrealistic goal. But when you want to manifest something by the end of this year, by the end of in the next 6 months, then choose a sub goal. What is something that I, with my muscle of belief, can actually believe that it's possible to be making until the end of this year? For me at that moment was 3,000 euros. It doesn't matter how much. It is only about your belief system. So for me, for my belief system, for my programming, where I grew up with my family, that was something that I, in that moment, believed that it was possible. I knew, and not only possible, that day when I made a decision, I shifted from possible to it's done. I said, okay, 3,000 euros, easy. Until the end of the year, I have 12 months. It's going to happen some month, you know? And when you make the decision and you set the goal clearly, it's already done, because you release control, and you become that identity of the person who is making 3,000 euros. It's done. It's a knowing. It's not belief, it's a knowing. I know I will be making this by the end of this year. When you make the decision, you are already that person energetically. And what happens, and this happened multiple times in my life, not only once, multiple times when I wanted to manifest money. What happens is that the minute you decide, you are, so me, Irena, who was worrying, there is no money, I don't know how, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, you guys. I educate myself, I understand how the reality works, I make a different decision that I want to be in control of my life, I want to be making this much money, this is who I am, okay? The minute I decided I am no longer in that reality, I am now a different person. Not person, but I am now a different version of me. I am now aware of different aspects of me. My consciousness has risen. I became aware and conscious of something that's possible, that's going to happen for me. When you do that, the next step is that the how will be revealed to you. The creative process of understanding how it's gonna start once you become that person. I'm saying person, but you're not becoming another person. But you guys, English is not my first language, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm still a little bit sick. You see, I'm. I made a tea here, guys. It's very cold here. Everyone is around me a little bit sick. So, first, shift your identity, your self-concept. First, do that. Make a decision that you are that person already living that life. And what I like to do is to say, okay, in the next 6 months or 12 months, I'm going to be making XYZ. Okay, this is how I do it. When I do that, I already stepped into a different timeline where that's going to happen. And then what happens is that it happens much, much faster. This happened multiple times in my life that I was thinking, okay, 12 months, it's going to happen. Why it happens faster is because I released all the control. All the control, all the resistance, all the control was released because I gave myself enough time that I believe in. So, right? So everything that you're setting goals and doing this based on your own belief system. So we are climbing a ladder of belief. So we are making this much money, and then we are reaching the C-type goal. In order to reach the C-type goal, which is, I don't know, €1,000,000 a month, first, because you for example, don't believe, okay, I cannot make €1,000,000 a month. I don't believe in that. Of course, if you do believe, do that. Like, I'm not saying no. It's up to you. I'm just saying about myself. So in order to get there, I have these sub goals. And for me to know that I am the version who is making, for example, let's say we are climbing a ladder, the first step, I need to be in the knowing energy. I need to be in the decision energy. It cannot be, oh, I wish one day I can have €1,000,000 a month. It would be so wonderful to be able to give so much money to the world and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't work that way. You need to climb a ladder of belief. So you have sub goals. You set a sub goal and you tell yourself the amount of time that you believe that it's going to be done. Whatever it is for you, I want you to be 100% sure that it's going to be done by then. When you make the decision, the control and the resistance move away. The creative process starts. And then, because you are now in the new reality as the new identity, then how is revealed to you. Do you understand now what I'm saying? In the first reality, when you didn't believe, when you didn't know, the how was irrelevant because you couldn't even see the how. We can only perceive and get the ideas We only get creative ideas about things that we believe it's possible for us. You cannot get $1 million idea if you don't have in your consciousness that it's possible for you to have that idea. You cannot perceive something that it's not already in your subconscious programming. That's why some people all the life they say, how? I don't know how, because they are stuck. They are like a horse, like this. They are stuck in the matrix, or however you want to call it, this program of the illusion that they can't, and they will never see the way out until they first understand the creation of reality, until they first change their state of consciousness, until they believe it's possible, and then they will get answers. And what happened with me? The next month I had 3,000 euros in the most miraculous ways possible. The most miraculous ways possible. So let's go back to the story. I want to go into the details. So I want to make the money. I'm going through the breakup. I'm sad, blah, blah, blah. I told myself, okay, I'm going to make this money because I had a natural skincare brand. And I told myself, I can make this money if I just, and then, okay, so when I shifted my energy, when I decided I'm that person, it's going to happen until the end of the year. I shifted my identity. I am already on this timeline. Okay. Then the creative process begins, and I started to receive a lot of ideas. I can sell more products. I can go do some workshops. I can make online courses. So creative process begins only then when I stepped into that identity. I told myself, okay, I'm going through a breakup. It's a really hard time. I'm going to do it. But now in January, so that year I wanted to make 3,000 euros. And then by the end of the year, right? So in January, I tell myself, okay, let me just go. I went to the Belgium to take care of a dog. It's a trusted house sitters application. If you guys want to use it, you can travel for free. It's super fun. And I told myself, I don't care. I'm going to make that money for sure. Now I have all the ways how I released all control. And I just went to have fun, to take care of a dog, to spend time, with the animal in the woods. And I wanted to travel and so on and so on. The guy who was working that, I was taking care of his dog. He went to Mexico for some work trip. And when he came back, we started talking. And because I worked as a model before, and he was telling me about his clothes, and he has a brand, and he has issues with digital creation and social media manager. And I was at the time also, I finished a course for digital creation. And I just told him, hey, I just learned, digital creation. I know how to make reels, and I also worked as a model. So this sounds fun. I got a job. And the next month, he asked me how much money, how much money you think this is worth. And I said 3,000 euros. And I started to do this job, and I was making 3,000 euros, which was exactly the amount that I wanted. I didn't get this money through my skincare brand. And why this is also important is that when you have this creative process and you start to think about all the ways, you are energetically open for it to happen any other way as well. So don't get stuck on the how. Use the how to release the control. Use the how to get into that energy of someone already living that life. When I was thinking about all these ways, I was sure that it's gonna happen one way or another. And when you are in that energy, it's gonna happen one way or another. What is the song of Bondi? One way or another. When you're in that energy, it's gonna happen. I know it's happening. It already happened. I want you to know that. And then you're energetically open for miracles, literally. And it can happen in any other way. But in this reality, until you shift your identity, until you shift your self-concept about who you are, until you awaken to the truth of your own power, You cannot get the answer how. And people can ask me, how are you so, some girl wrote me today, I want to be like you. You're so successful and beautiful and like living this life. I am truly living life on my own terms. I lived in Bali for a year. I came back because I wanted to come back. Now I'm staying with my mom and I don't care about social norms. I do whatever I want. I work with people I want to work with. I work whenever I want to work. I make money that I once dreamed of. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly creating and constantly expanding. Sometimes it goes down and I lose something and people are mistreating me. But I always know that when this is happening, because I'm someone who is conscious and aware, it is always happening because I'm quantum jumping. When things start crumbling down, if you're someone who is conscious and aware and working on themselves, I want you to know that you are about to manifest everything, because it literally is a sign that your manifestation is around the corner. This is not the truth for the people who are victims, who are living in a victim mentality, who always have some issues and problems and always focusing on that and complaining and gossiping. When things are crumbling, it's crumbling because they're in this cycle. They have a focus, they have a pattern to focus on the negative things, and they're constantly manifesting negative things. But if you're here, my conscious family, I know that you are different, that you are someone who is researching and looking and awakening. Then you know that when things start crumbling down, the universe is making space for your manifestation to come. So there is no need to worry. There is no need to panic, like literally no need to panic. I now even love when something like that happens, because I say, okay, universe, I know something is in store, it's coming. Okay, you cannot get the dream job if you are not fired from the previous one. You know what I mean? Like if you're working on yourself and you're scared to quit and then you get fired, I want you to fucking celebrate. Because the universe is saying, hey man, you know what? You're not supposed to do this anymore. So now I'm putting you in this uncomfortable state because I'm preparing you for the next level of your life. And if this is happening to you, there is no need to worry. You have all the tools, all the wisdom, everything is already inside of you. Everything is already inside of you. You just need to be conscious of it, be aware of it. And that's how I manifest money, and that's how my clients manifest their dream jobs, money, relationships. You make a decision about who you are. It needs to be normal for you, natural for you. I don't care about the past. The creative process begins. You get answers on the how, and then you open energetically for it to happen in the most miraculous ways. This is one sentence of how the creation of reality works. Everything summed up. I can put bazillion videos of this channel. This is the only sentence you need to understand. And then when you achieve that goal, you go to the next one. You go to the next one, because it's a game. Let's have fun. Let's have goals. And if you're really struggling and you really feel like you're listening to me, but you don't believe this 100%, I want you to study quantum physics, neuroscience. There is so many videos, so many educational videos, and so many books that will literally explain to you scientifically how your brain is literally unable to perceive something that you're not conscious of, something that you don't believe it's possible. You cannot perceive it. That information, that opportunity will not ever come to you until you change who you are, until you become that person, that version of you that is like, yes, it's possible. You become conscious of it. So watch this video. And I hope it really shifted your energy. I want you to write down in the comments. Okay, set an intention. The power of intention is real. Share with others what is your goal by the end of this year or next year. It doesn't matter. Just say, I am making 3,000 euros, 5,000 euros, 10, 100,000 euros, doesn't matter, by the end of this year. I will be making this much money, or whatever you want. I will be married. Like literally, it can also be a decision. I know I will be married. And then, okay, I'm going to go on dates. I'm going to see this guy. I'm going to see this woman. The creative process begins. And then, in the most miraculous ways, it will happen. So the how is irrelevant in the reality where you don't believe it's possible. You cannot get the information on the how until you change who you are. One thing that is so important, you guys, as well, is to have a very strong why. If you don't have a profound reason why, you're not gonna want to achieve your goal. You're just gonna quit and then maybe start again and then quit. So you need to find a reason. Why is this important to me? And always focus on that. Okay, let's go and see. By the way, if you took anything from this video, like the video. All this engagement helps me to continue to make these free videos, you guys. And I can reach more people in that way. And then when I reach more people, we can have a retreat. We can have a retreat and we can go to Bali, we can go to Peru, maybe. And we can have a retreat and meet in person and do this process in the real life. It's really powerful. I love live workshops. It's something I do in my country, in my own language. So like the video, subscribe, hit the notification button, comment down below, engage. It also is proving and sending a message to the universe that you claim this message, that you believe and you know that you are that person. Okay. Okay, Spirit, what do we have today? What is the message for my collective today? I love you guys so much. This is such my favorite time. That's why I always, now I want to stay here for 1 hour, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's too much. Yes. This talks about boundaries. This talks about Seven of Wands. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Let me read in the book. I always like to read because this is not a traditional tarot. It's a bit different. It says defending your position, protecting your inner light. Internal versus external validation, energetic shields, paying attention to your energy. So what was I saying? That your energy is so potent right now. You are so powerful. And when you start this journey of creation, of awakening, there is very little people who are awakened. You know, it's very few. I don't know, 3% maybe in the world. So it can feel very lonely and it can feel very, you want to go back to your comfort zone because other people are sleeping and maybe you rather sleep with them because at least you will not feel lonely. But trust me, this is the best. This is the best. Journey of awakening is hard. It's painful, but it's the best. And this is the moment for you to set boundaries with yourself and with people who no longer belong in your new timeline. This is what I'm hearing. When you choose that you are that person, maybe you choose, maybe one day, you know, it can be something like, I'm no longer going to be in this toxic relationship. The minute you decide that, you're already shifted. Miracles will happen. Because feel that energy when you say, fuck off. When you say, I'm no longer gonna be, you know, this victim and then crying for years and years. I was letting this man abuse me, and it's done. And you make a decision, you are a different version of you. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, stay conscious.